Thank you very much, sir. I thank the AOSC for accepting the course and thank Dr. Naresh for giving me this opportunity. So, having seen Dr. Prashant's surgeries, it is really very surprising that you can do so many procedures for anterior segment using the Ingenuity. Because it is usually done by the retina surgeons. And then when we thought of putting this course, and when Dr. Naresh asked me, I was thinking, is it possible to do this, especially the tube surgeries, which we find it very difficult even with the analog microscope. So let me share my experience here. I'm going to be talking about trabeculectomy and tube surgery. Is it any better in 3D? So we all know we went through the evolution. In 1994, probably we were just with the 2D system, and now we are in the world of 3D, where we visualize what we see and we really live in the experience of 3D. So why 3D in glaucoma surgeries? Definitely for better visualization, augmented reality, better depth resolution, more magnification, extended depth of field, better ergonomics, and most importantly, when the surgery is going to take a longer time, it's going to be comfortable for the surgeon if you're not going to strain your neck, and therefore increase the efficiency and performance of the surgeon. And also, it is less phototoxic to the patient. So when do we prefer 3D in glaucoma surgeries? I would like to prefer it in case of non-penetrating deep sclerectomy, where you really have to go and dissect a deeper layer of the sclera. So you have to have a better depth perception and better visualization of the structures. We have to raise two flaps. A deeper flap is usually very challenging. So in such situations, a 3D will be very, very helpful. And also in viscocanalostomy, a trabeculotomy to visualize the Schlemm's canal to see for the gush of aqueous. It's very important to have a good magnification and depth perception. And also in minimally invasive glaucoma surgeries, especially the angle surgeries where you're going to put a stent, a glauco stent in the TM, or any canaloplasties or 360 degrees of canaloplasties and any ab interno procedures involving the angle. All this is going to be very helpful when we have a better magnification and better depth perception. And also in the revision surgeries, in the bleb revision surgeries, to exactly know where exactly is the problem and to visualize that particular area and target that. And most importantly, for teaching our postgraduates and the fellows, they will be in a unified OR, and it is very easy for them to understand each structure better with a better depth perception. So previous speakers have told enough about the heads-up surgery. It's definitely going to be very useful for the ergonomics, and it's going to improve the surgeon's performance as well. So this is how it is, like you've been conventionally doing with the heads down position, and now it is like heads up position. It is really very, very nice to do this surgery like this. So this is trabeculectomy surgery, which I have done under the Ingenuity system. Initially, there is always a transition phase because we are all used to one particular system. And whenever we move on to the next, there is definitely some learning curve involved. That is something which we all have to go through it. So that was the initial feeling which even I had, because we are not used to looking at the screen and visualizing the structures and doing it. But thankfully, it was not all that bad. This was like the first surgery which I recorded. So it went on quite smoothly. It was very nice to visualize the structures. Actually, the depth of perception, basically seeing the surgical limbus, where it is the blue and the white zone meeting, and all these things are very, very good for teaching as well. So this is a case of a combined phacotrabeculectomy, which was done in a patient who had an angle closure glaucoma. So first we do a twin site. So first the trabecular flap was raised superiorly, and then I shifted temporally, did the phacoemulsification, and implanted the foldable 3-piece lens. So then we move on again to the superior side, complete the trabeculectomy. So this is the anterior chamber entry. So there is better magnification, that is visualizing the structures better. That is, you're able to understand where you are, and you are in the right zone. So very good depth perception is there. So that is itself is a very good experience. It's a very good feeling to see everything so magnified, unlike the analog microscope. When you increase the magnification, actually the field will get diminished there. So this is very good for visualization and also for suturing, to see the exact level of taking the sutures, whether you need a lamellar 90% thickness. And so assessing all that, the depth of suturing and also the depth of incisions are all very, very good in the 3D system. So thankfully, this was my first case and it really went on very well. And the patient was also very good the next post-operative day. So this is a combined phacotrabeculectomy. So next, I did another patient who had this was actually a combined procedure. This patient was had spherophakia with glaucoma. So it was an RD with lensectomy vitrectomy procedure. So here again, why it is more important for the tube surgeries is because, again, better visualization, to visualize the muscles better, to see where exactly we are hooking the plate. This is an RD which is being done. So it is, the muscles are all visualized well. It is separated so well. Sometimes you will not be able to differentiate between the thick tenons and the muscle fibers. So visualizing all this is very, very good with the good magnification and the 3D system. And also this step is also something which I find very useful, because to understand where we are taking the needle, sometimes the patients may be having a very thin sclera. So it is very important to make sure that we do not perforate by blindly taking a throw on the sclera. So visualization of the depth at which we are taking the sutures, and also visualizing the fibers, even a minute change can be visualized very well. The tube is being fixed here, and this particular step is also very, very useful, because you have to see the flow of the aqueous, and most importantly, when you're occluding the tube, tube occlusion has to be done in non-valved implants. So here, in order to ensure that there is no flow through the tube, we need to have a better magnification. Unlike the analog microscope, here I was able to visualize the no flow through the tube after occlusion. So all these steps I find is better than the conventional analog microscope. Of course, there is a learning curve. This is again probably the second case I have done under the Ingenuity system. Like Dr. Manoranjan was telling, even I had a little difficulty in focusing, but then over time I just got over it. Maybe the initial focus, like what Dr. Prashant was suggesting, so that we may have to look into that. So we can see that the tube has been put inside, and it was in the vitreous cavity. So is it any better? Definitely for teaching, I would recommend this, because we are all in the unified OR. The assisting nurse knows what I'm doing. The person who is the fellow who's observing also knows each step what I'm doing, and I can just teach just when I'm doing. Better visualization with better perception, better ergonomics, better magnification, better resolution. And for a long surgeries like the RD procedure or the AGV, we do not cause much of phototoxicity to these patients. So it's a unified OR, improved collaboration with the OR staff, provides better depth, focus, and clarity to the surgeon. And also surgical training can be done through a wireless communication. So through the Bluetooth, we can even not actually be in the OR, but still we can communicate with the resident or the fellow who's doing it. So this is a very good facility. And then, my previous speakers have talked enough about the magnification. Yes, definitely it has a better magnification, improves the performance of the surgeon, better surgical tasks, extended depth of field, accentuate details for delicate procedures. Ergonomics in glaucoma procedures. In MIGS requiring gonioscopy, microscope has to be tilted up to 30 degrees. Using oculars, the posture of the surgeon's neck also becomes very strenuous. But with this new 3D system, the heads-up surgery, it definitely gives a better comfortable position. I think it should be a promising option for MIGS surgery, but we do not perform MIGS surgery at Aravind as yet, but in future, maybe it would be very useful. Ergonomics related to the patient factors is also something which is very important, because a couple of times I had to operate on a patient who had kyphoscoliosis, where I literally was standing when I had the when I was doing it under the analog microscope. So this could also be an answer for those patients. The microscope need not be tilted, and with the 3D visualization, it would give a comfortable positioning for the surgeon when he's operating on patients with kyphoscoliosis. The surgeon factors, yes, we have talked enough about the ergonomics, the comfort, and the physiological heads-up position. But I think most importantly, I lived the experience of 3D. I always had the fancy of watching 3D movies in theater, and Frozen was one very good movie which I really liked. So I lived the experience of 3D by operating on these patients. So this is from Avatar. So anything is so fascinating which you feel that something is coming very close to your eyes. So this is the same feeling which we will have when we are looking at the structures in the eye when we are operating. So can the 3D heads-up display improve ergonomic surgical performance in ophthalmology training compared to conventional microscope? Yes, it does. With the heads-up display, it provides better comfort to the surgeons, better depth perception, and serves as a better educational tool. However, anything comes with a few limitations. The cost is a major limitation for this. Sometimes we do have a little visual discomfort, and there is a minute time latency, image display latency is there. There is definitely a steep learning curve. We'll have to do a lot more in anterior segment surgeries, especially for trab and tubes, and maybe I have to explain.
सर्जरी अभी कर सकते हैं कि नहीं, क्या करें?
Motion sickness, and then future directions is incorporation of an intraoperative OCT. Displaying the live OCT image is also possible. Integration of endoscopic views into the monitor. A microscope independent camera that can slide over the patient so that there will be less concern about positioning and visual obstructions is also something which we could look forward. 8K display is also something which would replace the current 3D 4K displays, enhances the resolution of future 3-dimensional operating systems. Thank you very much for patient hearing, and I thank Dr. Naresh for the opportunity again. Thank you so much.